welcome from the Rethink IT in Berlin. I'm here with Monique Morrow, the former CTO at Cisco and the president and co-founder of the Humanized Internet, and also president of the Web3 Foundation. Welcome and thank you very much for your time.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So you'll be speaking about 5G in the context of cybersecurity. Why is 5G a game changer in this context?
Well, that's a really great question because some people are not prepared for 5G in this sense. 5G is going to allow anything that you're going to deal with in terms of connected autonomous cars or in terms of robotics on the manufacturing floors. You're going to need some level of bandwidth, and you're going to need it in terms of really real-time streaming. So let's start with that as an enabler. However, the next question is, are we really that prepared for 5G? And I think we're taking some steps toward it to be prepared because it goes down to readiness, where we are ready and where perhaps we have opportunities to be ready.
So does this have an impact on how AI will change the cybersecurity strategy of your enterprise?
It has every impact, especially if you're thinking about issues of machine learning, what you're learning, the patterns, how you serve up information automatically. There's some level of artificial intelligence applied to this space of 5G. I would say examples of that could be, what is a chatbot doing? How real is a chatbot? People are talking about real-time chatbot interactions. But on the other hand, chatbots can be used by very miscreant and very bad characters to actually create attacks on your network.
And how do new technologies impact the awareness of the dilemma within the company?
There are some issues with regard to being ready within the company. What is the talent that you need? And also how will it impact new opportunities or revenue opportunities? So all of them kind of go together. However, there is usually a tendency for people who think there's cool things to do to sway to the cool aspects and not keep the business running. Mm-hmm. So there is a polarity there, and we have to make sure that we actually address those particular issues so that we award those people who keep the business running, but also look at how we are ready. I live in Switzerland, and the whole topic of 5G is very political at the moment. You have members of churches and farmers who are saying, and particular groups who are saying, look, this is going to, what are the health impacts of 5G, especially when you have these antennas set up. And, you probably have much more health issues associated with the mobile phone, but we still have to weigh the balance out to the consumer themselves, because now you and I are talking about enterprises and their customers, but at the end, their customers may be us, you and I.
So what is to be expected within the next few years in terms of cybersecurity through the lens of industry?
Oh, that's a really great question. If anything, this has to be the number one discussion that we have to have, especially for the topic of 5G, for Internet of Things, when we have things that now take on identities. Miscreant characters are usually the earliest adopters of these new technologies, and they will always find ways to infect your system. So, critical infrastructure, energy, electricity, cars, anything that's using any notion of an identity or can be positioned as an Internet of Things associated with what we're doing with 5G will have a very, very important, will be very important for cybersecurity and looking at all aspects of how we put some control into the area. The thing of it is that things are also consumer devices, and so, or medical devices. We must, and I would say this is a call to action, pay close attention to this space.
And what do you think can participants of the event learn from your presentation? So what is the rethink within your presentation?
I think the rethink is to spur a discussion of readiness within the company, but also the role of how each of the players will be, whether they keep up a sort of a dashboard and how they're doing it at the highest level of management. It has to be at the highest level of management, and everybody should be responsible. I do think, particularly in Germany, small and medium businesses are number one areas for concern, and so small and medium businesses will probably need some kind of neutral center where they can assess their vulnerabilities, and I think we need to see more of these neutral centers take place across the country.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.